Anyway, so now, like, they try to, like, silence people telling the truth about them or whatever. And I'm like, dang, it's like, crazy. Because, like, yeah, I mean, like, this, like, administration don't want them to know, to nobody else to know about they, like, the stuff that they doing or whatever. Real though. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy as ever. But I mean, like, hey, they try to always cover their tracks and all that stuff. Why? So they can keep on getting away with stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's really crazy. So go keep on happening on all that. For real though. Anyway, so yeah, these steps is like, still going, like, still doing some, like, crazy stuff or whatever, whatnot. They killed this, like, woman in Chicago. They still have killed her or whatever. They cut their body cams off or whatever. Like, they try to be sneaky with it. Try to act like nobody not gonna pick her down or nothing like that. For real though, I'm like, oh my goodness, some crazy stuff. And then, like, these cops, like, in Michigan, like, had this dude right on the ground or whatever. And it was like, what I'm saying? They had like a dog on them, and they had them handcuffed. And like, what I'm saying? They like, had them right on his stomach. And like, I don't know why the cop was saying it. They were like, stop reaching, stop reaching, stop reaching. Reaching for what? He had his hands handcuffed on the back of his back. Like, what's up with that? Like, the cop had a gun right to his head or whatever when around him. And that stuff was crazy. And they, like, it was on, like, in the body cam and all that. Real though. I mean, I do. And, like, as soon as the cop said, gun, and next thing you know, then I'm getting shot like 4 times. Right upside the head or whatever. I'm like, dang, it's crazy. Real though. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm like, that's some crazy stuff. Real though. I'm like, dude, I'm saying the footage was messed up. I'm like, dang. Real, I'm like, oh my goodness. That was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, that was like, back in February, but still though, that is still crazy. There's some crazy stuff. For real though. Anyway, so now I'm like up there just thinking like, what the hell? Like, yeah, but they gonna keep on trying to do this sneaky stuff or whatever whatnot. That's it. For real though. Anyway, it's like, woman saw her child losing in a like wrestling competition or whatever. And she managed to like, like pour this like brother of her child. Now this was a kid. You know what I'm saying? A black kid, right? And like when his parents got like, what I'm saying, tried to like, say she was on the pocket for that. That like, all the other people they was on the pocket. For real. They thought the parents was on the pocket for like, what I'm saying? Getting like, and try to like, figure out what was going on, like, what I'm saying? Because like this woman put her hands on their child or whatever. Because her child was losing up in a wrestling match. For real though. And they didn't even like pay attention to that woman that did that stuff to that child. It was also just like, acting like it was like, what I'm saying? Just acting like nothing ain't happened. For real though. They just like saying like, they like up there just like, getting all up in their feelings for no reason. For real though. I'm like, shoot, when a lady just assaulted a child for some losing up in a wrestling match? Really? That's some crazy stuff. That's crazy as ever. And then they up there, and then that dude up there saying, "Oh yeah, we don't need all that loudness and stuff like that." I'm like, what? What you mean? Like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. That's crazy as ever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm like, wow, some crazy stuff. That's it. I mean, like, so it's crazy. I'm like, dang. Like, really though? Really? Like, yeah. That's like, crazy. That's crazy as ever. Anyway, so, like, Ashley did, like, see this, like, other, like, video or whatever. Both of these women up there just hollering, having an argument. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no, like, fist fight or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was arguing at each other, just yelling at each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? They like, oh my goodness. It was crazy, but nobody didn't break out. Nobody didn't break out at all. For real though. It was just like, they just had, argument. That's what it, for real though. And I'm like, that's so crazy. That was crazy as ever. For real though. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm like, dang. I'm like, okay. For real though. I know it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even a big deal. Like, people argue all the time. For real though. The only thing is, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody then, like, grab that, like, blinking and then, like, start blinking or whatever. You know what I mean? For real though. Anyway, so, yeah, shoot. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the other story or whatever whatnot. Right though. Anyway, so yeah, I just like just up there thinking or whatever, whatnot. Right though, about like, what I'm saying, how they doing things out here. Even the judge like did some like, bogus stuff or whatever when like 2 bystanders like got shot down by these cops or whatever. Like, that's some crazy stuff. I'm like, what the? I'm like, bro, like, come on, bro. I mean, like, they end up being in a shootout with, like, I don't know, these, like, burglars or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, jewelry robbers or whatever. But they didn't make sure that people were safe or whatever. Like, how 2 bystanders gonna get shot and all that? Like, really? Like, get hit in a crossfire. Actually. But I can understand why. Because they wanna, like, they try to protect themselves against, like, jewelry thieves or whatever the whatnot. But for real though, they gotta be careful about that stuff. I'm saying, but they're not gonna be careful because they trigger happy. They trigger happy as ever. For real though. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like, that's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff. Like, I'm like, dang, like, it's crazy. It's crazy as ever. Anyway, a cop, like, shut down this dude's, like, pet or whatever, whatnot. And like, it was like, something like, positive. It wasn't nothing negative at all. I'm saying they didn't even have to have a permit or nothing like that. Like, I'm saying, people would just like get around and like, say some positive things or whatever whatnot. I'm saying the cop like just like, shut it down or whatever for no reason. No reason at all. I'm like, you can do ask them like, why you like shut my like, pedal down, like shut my like, get together down or whatever whatnot. The cop didn't even know what to say. He didn't know what to say whatsoever. For real though, he just like made up some stuff and then like, that's saying, told him he had to shut it down or whatsoever whatnot. It didn't get violent or nothing like that. But for real though, just like I said, it's no talking to them whatsoever. For real though. I mean, like, even if you're kind, it's no talking to them. Even if like things get out of like hand, it's no talking to them. It's no talking to them at all. For real though. I mean, I should, cause like, yeah, I'm like, dang, that's like, it's like you just go in one ear and not the other. For real though, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. That's crazy as ever. But anyway, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hit the bell on notifications so you can see my next upload and my next post in the next format. No one's from. And oh yeah, you can check out my previous videos if you like it. So long, farewell, goodbye.